Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Good morning, guys. I received a message this week from a colleague of mine at 8K, and the message that she sent me was very profound. It was a message of a young American gentleman that used a few analogies that he was taught by his father in the way that he reflects upon life. And I'm just going to share this with you because I think this is a beautiful message. He takes a golf ball and he says, if you look at this ball and you put it into my hand, it's probably not going to be worth much, because if you see the way that I play the sport, you will understand why nobody will give any attention to it. But then he says, if you take the same ball and you put it into the hands of a gentleman like Tiger Woods, all of a sudden it becomes worth so much more. And it's not because of the potential of the ball, it's because of the potential of the gentleman that's holding it. I want to use the same analogy if you look at a pen. If you put this pen into my hand and I have to write down my ideas and my dreams, it's probably not going to be worth much. But if you take the same pen and you put it into the hands of a guy like Wilbur Smith or Terry Pratchett, then it will become worth so much more. So it's not really the potential of the object, but it's the potential of the person that is using the object. And I want to use this same analogy when we look at Proverbs, because the great king discovered something in life, and I think it's something that really will help us in our life struggles. Because he says, in the first instance, you should not lean onto your own understanding. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons that we can learn as human beings, is not to try and figure out life or the deeper meanings and the deeper mysteries of life through our own understanding, because it's just too shallow. We don't understand enough. We don't have enough wisdom. We don't have enough insight into understanding these very difficult themes. And I think that's one of the beautiful messages that we get from Proverbs, because he seeked into everything. He tried to understand the greater meanings. He looked into death and he looked into life, and he said, I look into all these things and I just can't understand it. When we lean on our own understandings of things, we tend to come up just a little bit short. We feel insignificant. We feel so small in a great big world, and we think that, well, we're not really worth much. And that's why the writer then says something profound. He says, put all your trust and put all your understanding, put all your worldly views into the hands of God. And when you do this, your path will seemingly become straight. And by saying this, he's not saying that everything will be easy, that all of a sudden all our problems will be solved, and that illness and finances and these things are not things that's going to trouble us anymore. What he's actually saying is, if we give ourselves to God and we allow ourselves to become objects in God's hand and let Him do the writing, then things will all of a sudden start making sense. Not because it's sensible, but because we live in trust of God, because we give ourselves to Him, and what happens to us is in His hands. But when we put ourselves into the hands of God, all of a sudden, we who seem to be clay pots, we who seem to be worth not much, we become so much more. Not because of who we are, but because of who is holding us. I pray, my friend, that you will put yourself into the hands of God, that you will seek the meaning of things in God, and that you will try to interpret your world in the manner that is suiting to the Lord. My friend, I know that we are still facing so many difficulties and so many troubling times, and I know that it might feel to you that you're insignificant, but I can promise you this, is if we as Christians put ourselves into the hands of the Lord, then insignificant things might become worth so much more.